Nobody tells you about the A1A traffic on a launch day. Nobody tells you that beach living in Brevard County is genuinely different image in your head. And I mean that as a compliment and as a warning. Today, I'm going to give you the real version, my honest opinion on beachside living here. A story from someone who made the move, and 3 things that I want you to know before you decide this is the life for you. I'm Carrie Leota, a realtor here on Florida's Space Coast, waterfront relocation specialist. Before we go any further, if you're seriously thinking about moving to Brevard County, you need to be in my Facebook group. It's called Moving to Brevard County, Florida. Just scan the QR code on the screen right now. We've got locals, people who just made the move, aerospace folks, military families, all in one place, asking real questions and getting real answers. So scan that QR code and I'll see you in there. Okay, so here's my honest take. The Space Coast delivers on the promise of beach living in a way that a lot of Florida doesn't, but it asks something of you in return. The people who thrive here are the ones who came in understanding that this is a real place, not a resort. The bugs are real. The humidity is real. The salt air is real. The traffic on A1A during a SpaceX launch or a long holiday weekend is really real. And also the rocket launches from your back porch, they're real. Dolphins in the canal are real. The feeling of living somewhere that the rest of the country considers a dream. My opinion is that this coast is worth it. But it rewards the buyers who did their homework and came in prepared, not the ones who showed up for the fantasy and figured the details out later. I worked with a buyer that came in from the Pacific Northwest, completely checked out of cold and gray, ready for sun and ocean, very smart person. They had the vision locked in, direct oceanfront, A1A address. We ended up in a community 1 street off the ocean, still has the breeze, still walks to the beach in 2 minutes, has genuine privacy, and their cost of ownership was meaningfully better. They told me at closing that the question I asked them in the walkthrough changed their whole search. Sometimes the honest question is the most valuable thing I can offer. Understand that beachside is not one thing. Beachside living in Brevard County is not one experience. Cape Canaveral is compact with a growing energy. Cocoa Beach has year-round activity, surf culture, more services, more tourists. Satellite Beach and Harbour Beach, those are family-oriented, quieter, highly educated neighbors because of the aerospace and tech employment base. Indialantic has an old Florida charm and a beachside boardwalk feel. Melbourne Beach is the most removed from tourist activity, the most residential, the most I found my spot and I'm staying kind of community. These are not interchangeable. Know which version of beach life matches your actual daily life and not your vacation self. All right, next, a budget for what I call the salt air tax. This is the ongoing cost of living on or near the ocean that doesn't show up in the listing price or on a mortgage payment. Your exterior paint needs attention more often. Window seals fail faster. Wooden surfaces, doors, trim, decking, they need regular treatment. Your HVAC, especially if it sits on the exterior, is exposed to corrosive environment. Metal fixtures oxidize, and just so you know, this is not unique to the Space Coast, but it's more pronounced the closer you are directly to the ocean. Buyers who manage this well set aside a regular maintenance budget for it. They stay on top of their HVAC service schedule and they use materials rated for coastal environments when they do repairs or renovations. The buyers who get surprised by it are the ones who treated it like a normal inland home. Next, understand the seasonal reality of wherever you are buying. Certain stretches of A1A, especially Cocoa Beach near the pier and Ron John, get significant tourist and foot traffic during spring break, summer, and around major launches. If you're someone who values quiet and routine, that's worth factoring in. The communities that tend to have more consistent day-to-day calm are the ones a little further from the corridors. South Cocoa Beach, Satellite Beach, Indialantic, Melbourne Beach, and also sea turtle nesting season runs May through October. On the direct ocean front, there are lighting restrictions during nesting season. They're not burdensome, but if you're planning on hosting a backyard event, know them before you're surprised by them. So, to wrap things up, beachside living on the Space Coast is genuinely one of the better versions of coastal Florida life. It's not as expensive as the Gulf. It's not as overcrowded as South Florida. It has a real community, real history, and a rocket launch on the horizon that never gets old. But it's a specific life, and it asks you to show up prepared. Know your cost picture, know your maintenance obligations, know which community actually fits your day-to-day. Do that, and this coast will deliver everything it promises. That's everything I've got for you today. So if this was helpful, drop a comment, share it with someone who thinks about moving to the Space Coast. And if you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, Moving to Brevard County, Florida, scan that QR code on the screen. Locals, newcomers, real conversations, and I'll see you in the next video.